Well, hey there, peepers. It's me again, Margaret. How y'all doing? Oh, man, it's kind of cool out here. Sun's bright and shiny. It's a beautiful day. Oh, I don't know if you can see that cloud up there. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, my word. Ah, but I didn't know I had a message today, but I do. Yesterday, I was rummaging through some things, and I found something. And I was like, And then I, went on with my day. Well, this morning I was sitting out and I was talking with the Almighty out on my swing. Well, it seems that I do have a message for y'all today. And what I found is part of the message. God once said that prayer is meeting Him. Okay, you got to meet with Him in order to pray, to talk to Him, and that's easy. But for so many of us, it's so hard, especially if we don't know how. Nobody's ever told us how, and that's what's wrong with a lot of the churches today. They don't tell you how to pray, and I think that's because they don't really know how. They don't really understand how to pray. God says they speak, but they don't pray. It's kind of like an empty voice. They're full of words, but those words are just bouncing off of stuff because they're not truly praying. They're not really talking to Him. They're just talking so people can hear their voice. And those who are talking in silent are talking, and it's really not coming through because they're just talking because they're doing what, it's like a repetition. This is how you're supposed to do it. And it's meaningless. He says He hears it, but there's not a whole lot He can do with it. Because, well, you're not talking to Him. Now, that probably, people are like, what? You're crazy. No, I'm not. Think about it. And I'm fixing to show you how and why it's not concentrate, It's watered down. Now, in order to speak to God, you got to come to Him, right? You got to go to Him in prayer. And the way you do that is this. It's a compass. North, south, east, and west. Now, when you read a compass, you have to find north. All right, and I'm gonna find north. See, if I go this way, that red goes over to the west. So I'm gonna find north. Boom. Okay. Now north is God. Anything but is not God. Okay. If it goes this way, and every one of us know that life has a lot of trees and mountains and creeks and rocks, and like a compass, you can get turned around. You see north and go, okay, I'm going north. Well, then you put it down and you walk north. You don't pay attention to this the whole time. You just walk in the direction in which it tells you to. And then every once in a while you put it up, and then you may be off course a little bit. So then you have to do this, and then you walk in that direction until you get to wherever it is you're wanting to go. But if you want to go east, then you're going to look at that and you're going to go, oh, there's north. So now I want to go in that direction. So, okay. And then that's how you continue. So if you want to go south or west, you're going to continue the entire process. It's the same way with God. But we all want to go to God. And God is north, okay? North. Right there. That's the direction to God, let's say. Each one of us is born with a compass. Each one of us. Scientists call it the God particle. It's a true particle. It's a true thing. But it's the compass that God has given each and every being that lives on this earth a compass. If you move, if you walk, whether you're dog, cat, or animal of any kind or human, you have this compass. Now, people go, animals ain't got the God particle. Yes, they do. How do you think that they know when to go south and what route and stuff to go? Science says it's like what do they call it? Like a magnet in a way. It draws them here, there, and yonder. But it's the God compass. It's how they figure out what direction they need to fly or they need to go in order to, get where they're going. Animals sense things that we don't sense. And that's because they have their God particle and we have ours. But we've lost our way because society has not taught us to use that compass. Some people call it a gut feeling. Use that gut feeling, that compass. But once you start learning to use that compass, it becomes second nature, if not almost first nature. But it takes a while. Now, with that said, my God particle, I had to learn how to use it. And a God particle points to God. Okay? That's north. How that works is, and it's one thing that the churches don't seem to teach anymore. They don't teach how to talk to God. They don't teach you to use that God particle that's in there to do it. Look it up. It's called the God particle. So, our compass, the God particle, is inside. It's in there. And it directs us to God and what is good and what is positive. But the world, of course, wants to pull us here, there, and yonder. Just how that compass, how you can easily get off course if you're not careful, it's the same thing. You have to be diligent and staying with that God particle. Put yourself in check every once in a while. Look at it and go, oh, wait a minute, I'm off. So, and then you just keep going. Now, here's how you find that God particle. When you are by yourself, everybody knows you go to a prayer, and it'll say, a lot of people say, go to your closet. Okay, go to your closet. Go by yourself somewhere. Sit down. Say, God, here I am. This is me. Well, I'm going to say, this is Tish. And then in your mind's mind, if you can imagine things with your eyes open, that's fine. You can have your eyes open. If you can't imagine something with your eyes open and you got to shut your eyes to imagine it, then shut your eyes to imagine it. But what you do is you imagine what heaven looks like. What is your idea of what heaven looks like? I mean, even people who say they don't believe in God have in their eyes and their mind's mind, their inner eyes, what the most perfect and most beautiful place to be sitting in or visiting very peacefully. What do you think heaven looks like? And then you imagine that. And then in that heaven, where do you think God's throne is and what it looks like? And then you imagine yourself walking to that throne. Some people may think heaven as a field. Some people may think heaven, as, streets of gold and mansions and stuff. But then when you imagine what God's throne looks like, some people think of God's throne looking like the Greek pantheon. Others think of it as, this city or this temple. Others may think of it like I do, and it is at the top of these enormously large stairs. Now, when I think of God's throne, I imagine that it's this bright light, just like in my dream when I was 16. When I was 16, it was a bright light, and it was God. And Jesus come to talk to me. And we talked. And he showed me the book of life. And nobody can read the book of life. You know, it says no man shall be able to read the book of life. But I opened it. I opened the book of life. And there was nothing in it. The pages were blank. And I said, Jesus, no wonder, you know, nobody can read it, because there's nothing there. And I got the feeling that he was smiling at me. And he put his hand like this at the top of the page, but he never touched the page, and he went all the way down the page. And then when his finger touched the page, my name appeared. And I went, oh, and I woke up. So I had asked him, you know, was I going to be in the book of life? You know, I was in a very difficult time in my teenage years, and I was having a difficult time. And, well, I went begging to Almighty, and, well, he answered me. And so with that said, I remember in that dream I was standing in a field, and it looked like a big old moon up there, but it really wasn't the moon. It was a warm, comfortable light, and I just sat there and I was just staring at it. And I remember looking away every once in a while and seeing this field, and every flower that was in this field looked like stars. The radiant light from that moon was just glistening on them, and it just looked like a field of stars. So to me, looking at God is this huge light. So you focus on what you think where God is. And no man, woman, or child will ever see God until you go to heaven. So he's a light for the most part. And so I go to this light and I say, God, this is me, it's Tish. And then I talk to him and he talks back. So when you're praying, go to your secret place in here of what you think heaven looks like, and then go to where you think God's throne is in that place, and that's where you lay down your prayers, and that way you can connect to him, so that any given moment throughout the day you have that connection. Now, that doesn't mean that every single time you talk to him, you have to imagine that, because the more you become attached in a relationship with him, the less you have to see that to know in your mind that he hurt you. You'll start seeing little things like little hearts and little butterflies, things that mean I love you to you. You know, if seeing a butterfly means I love you, if seeing a heart means I love you, those symbols that represent love, or flowers, or just whatever, he'll start sending you those tiny little love notes and telling you, I love you. And then you just say, I love you back. Or as my Aunt Violet would say, I love you more. But anyway, that's how you start getting that relationship with the Almighty, is you have to focus on him and use your inner compass of where his throne is at. An imagination. That's why he says, such as these are you have the kingdom of heaven. Children have the most wonderful imagination. They can imagine things with their eyes closed, and they can imagine things with their eyes open. They can talk to people who aren't even there, because that's how good their imagination is. You have to get to that place. As we've grown up, we've lost that inner compass because society doesn't teach you. Church doesn't teach you to stay focused on God. And that's how you stay focused. He is the inner compass. He is the God particle. You have to, every once in a while, keep yourself in check. Or instead of going north, you're going to wind up going west. And if you don't check that compass every once in a while, you might be going south and not realize it. And then you're all messed up. And then life's all messed up. And then you're confused because what direction am I supposed to go, God? Well, find that God particle and go the direction to Him. Find Him. Anyway, that is my message for today. Find your God particle. Find your inner compass that points to God. And when you talk to God, imagine where He is in that throne. And look at that light that is in there. Because God is light. He is not darkness. There's no darkness in Him. So find that light and head north to God. When you talk to Him, head north, so to speak. Right in here, the throne. Try to see His throne where He is at and talk to Him. And then remember to be still. Because like with a compass, like with a compass, can you see that? You have to be still, because if you shake any, it's going to point different directions. There we go. So peace, be still, and focus your compass, your God particle, on God. And you'll have the best relationship you could possibly ever have. And people will want that, and just share it with them. Tell them. That's our job, is to tell each other how to meet God. I love y'all, and if I love y'all, Almighty God most certainly loves y'all more and unconditionally. I love you. Bye. Hope this helps somebody.